Happy Friday, everyone. It's been a while since I've been here, live and direct here. I've always been here, but it's been a while since I've been online. Let me turn off Twitch. Because we know that we're live and direct, don't we? Anyways, you know what? Let me double check that, so I don't run into any trouble. I'll turn down the volume. Yep, we are online. Okay, I'm gonna go right into Medium, and just as a little preamble, I will say that I have been having a fair amount of nerve pain. Actually, just to demonstrate on my little boy right here. He's going informally by Coral Boy or Barnacle Boy. I think it really all depends on how many of those things we actually end up putting on him. Yeah, but I've been feeling this sort of pain all the way down the shoulders, and it's been moving actually, so it's like a nerve pain, and right now it's on the, let me take the mirror off. Right now it's like shooting up towards here. So making this piece has been sort of strangely cathartic in some ways, because I'm also looking at it as a way to sort of heal and you know, just get a little bit of time to escape pain, because popping muscle relaxants day after day is not the most fun thing in the world, but being in here has always been nice. And a friend of mine today, she was asked me to, a VR friend of mine who works in mixed reality was asking me like, oh, pick a number. And I picked number 28 because that's a very lucky number. And the card that came up was really appropriate, I thought. Sanctuary is a place to be rejuvenated and refreshed. It is a place to be healed and to remember who you are. The sanctuary offers a place to retreat to when the pressures and anxieties of the world are too much to face. Are you in need of some sanctuary time? Hell yeah. If you've chosen this card, take a moment to reflect on where you find your deepest healing and reconnection to Source. If you are feeling strong and centered, then this card may be nudging you to offer yourself service to the creation of healing spaces for others. And in general, I think I do actually feel pretty passionate about that. That last sentence. Looks like I made a little backwards thing. Because, you know, kind of what am I here for otherwise is the way I look at it. And I believe me, he will not stay stumpy for too long. I just have to think about, because in looking at these two sides, so, you know, the purpose of Coral Boy or Barnacle Boy, I think I'll just stick with Coral Boy for now, is that he's almost like a statue in the sea. So he'll be a little weathered, a little bit greener. In fact, you know what? Let's do that right now. Let's give it a little bit of color. So, and I'm working on a companion piece, which you're seeing a screenshot for on the right here. Oh, it's a little too green. That's a little too weathered. I do want that sort of turquoisey off. Yeah, let's do that. This sculpt probably took me about around half an hour. Anywhere from half an hour, 45 minutes. But it's still the beginning, as you can see. And let's change that to spray. Brush, actually. Let's get a slightly brighter. There we go. Definitely want to get some gradation up here. Maybe even get some, if we can sample some colors from here. Give a little bit of, definitely want to add some coral around the edges here too. God, that's dazzling. That's not even the word for it. It's just that those colors are ridiculous. I mean, anyways, I just came back from Kona, and really not trying to brag, it just is factual. It was my birthday recently, and I thought a nice way to treat myself, essentially. Which, you know, if you can, I encourage you all to do too. I feel like I lost my track somewhere. Anyways, I'm sure I'll come back to it somehow. I was thinking about like a little shelf, like this almost. That kind of a look along the edges, almost like the way mushrooms or fungi would grow around the edge of a tree. So there is this manta ray. So the last night of my Kona trip, I was actually in quite a bit of pain that night, but I, you know, just breathed right through it and got to see this wonderful manta ray by the name of Vicky. And she was just such a beautiful, luminescent, literally quite luminescent. So they attract the manta rays well, actually, they attract the plankton to this blue light under a dirigible that we all sort of hold on to with ropes. And the manta rays, in this case a pup, maybe only 6 to 8 months old, comes up and does her little like show, and that's kind of what you're seeing here is the path of the manta ray that I'm making. This is just a screenshot. If we're lucky, we might get back into that, but we'll see how my shoulder holds up. In the meantime, why don't we just continue along our merry way? He's almost very nymph-like, isn't he? Hope the music selection works for everyone. Just sort of doing my Spotify playlist thing. Actually, it should be more yellow base. Or greenish yellow. Definitely want the eyelashes to be some fun color, just don't know what that is yet. I might do this. Why don't we have a little bit of fun with the color on the top? Like rings. Let's do the little shelving system. I think that might be fun to... Just gotta find a nice stamp for that. Time to go to the old Lego blocks. Blocks might be nice. Because they kind of have a natural coral-like structure. I wonder if I can do a little bit of a little steady stroke on that. Get a lot of Mm-hmm. And I also want to be able to animate on top of it, you know? So this is almost more like a, not a template, but like a base from which to go from. I build this cross so it kind of covers his privates. I know there's a leaf there, but I'm not doing a leaf. I don't do no stinking leaves. Maybe the actual hands themselves could be more shelves or more pieces of fun coral building off. Because we do need little fishies here, you know? Even if they're just like hanging out briefly. Oh, it's the same color. Cute, cute, cute. With that little bit of rosy, well, not rosy, whatever this is, lemony nose. Mm-hmm. Maybe if it spindles up, that might be a kind of fun look, with little barnacle type things falling off, like the edges here and going down. I think that might look good. Let's, before I do anything else, save. Let me just give myself a little arm break here. Wasn't so awful, by the way, with the here, but I think we can do better. So let's try that again. More clay, not rocks. A little bit more. Yeah. I actually do really like the way it ridges, but that gives it a little bit of character. It's all about character, isn't it? Yeah, like that. And again, we can do another color for that. But let's just focus on structure for now. We've got like a little mini muscle there. I need to sort of bring that down well, I can always do something fun with it. I wonder how I got that. It's a little bit. Okay. I know the question is, do you get a belly button later on down the line? We'll see. We'll see about that. What do I want to do with your right side? You know what I want to do first is actually erase most of it. Yeah, that really does look like Play-Doh, huh? Sorry, dramatic pause, just kind of thinking through it. Really thinking through, again, always thinking of silhouette, right? In fact, let's do that right now. Let's take a look at that. Let's take away the ground plane. Let's take away the skybox. Let's just look at. Let's bring the sun brightness up. But oh man, you're all the way up there. Let's just even bring him in closer. Tilt brush does a really good job with this, by the way, in terms of giving you options in terms of lighting, and it's really interesting to me to reflect on where each program sort of excels, and where it has blind spots. You know, for the most part, I've always been really happy with the tool set in Medium. I think most of you probably know that by now, since you see a lot of these sculpts in this space. Whoops. Those colors. Those colors aren't even matching. There we go. Nice hot orange. Beautiful. Do a few more of them. I should take it off steady stroke. Strangely meditative doing this, by the way. Okay. Let's move some of those around. Give them a little bit of little worms reaching out. There we go. These almost look like little devil horns, huh? Wasn't totally intentional, by the way. Okay. So I'm still wrestling a little bit, quite literally, with how the right arm should look. I mean, it's almost a stereotypical tree pose that I'm going for, huh? By the way, there will be roots down here. In fact, let's just do that. Let's just make like little tree-like roots. And I know that's probably not very core-like in any way, shape, or form, but yeah, let me just play a little around with that a little bit. I just move that. Let's do something. Might be a little bit easier actually to do it with something a bit simpler than that. Let's just go. Let's see how this moves. Really want to pay attention to. I mean, look at how, like, it's chaos, but it's not. I don't know how to explain it. Even that has a really beautiful shape to it with as much coral that's in that environment. So much of what artists do is, you know, oftentimes is to replicate the forms they see in nature with, you know, obviously our own sort of creative license, right? I also purposely have not upped the resolution on this, not only just because my computer is not that powerful, but once I bring it to NMVR, I don't want it to get bogged down in any way. Haha. So that's the purpose of that. This undulation that's happening there. We can also play with Yep. Some irregularities in the surface. Yeah, that's good. And I think it should join up on that side. Let's try that, shall we? Come around. Another chance for a shelf, right? By the way, that's so not a scientific term for a coral. I don't know if it's called a shelf or not. So, please don't yell at me. Or yell at me. You can yell at me. A little sassiness to these shelves, you know. It's like they grew over however many years, and trying to make a statement, you know? It's like, we're here. Exoskeleton and all. Actually, I should be also reading grooves. Deep cuts, baby. Deep cuts. Maybe that's a little too deep. Nothing's ever too deep for a poor boy. Right? That's a little odd, actually. That might be more. Maybe I can make it more leaf-like here. How about that? Even that little groove there is very like, should be adding little. Save. Poor thing's arm has been off too long. I need to do something about that, huh? Well, you know, this manta ray, ideally, choreography-wise, should be. Let me see if I remember how he flies. She flies over. She flies in. Her fun fact was that most of the manta rays that feed in that bay are females. I thought that was interesting. Then it comes in, maybe around and up. I think you can tell what I'm doing here. I kind of want this movement going through from the root all the way up. Anytime you can sort of build a natural feeling of movement into your work, unlike what the song is saying, do it. They're gonna do it anyway, exactly. I don't know what that could be. I honestly, I have no answers for what these are, because it's already in the water anyways, but you come up with your own origin story. I kind of want this movement, so I'm just trying to... one. See, this is that thing where you're kind of actively playing with abstraction versus like me trying to. Yeah, okay, let's not overly work that. Cool, cool, cool. What else do we want to do here? Should probably do something about this and that. I really like the flat brush a lot. So very helpful. It's interesting, right? You can also kind of create your own level texture just by how sensitively you touch from certain angles. Go. Mm-hmm. Almost be like a seaweed. Mm-hmm. I really can't get away from this shape. I really do like it a lot. Oh, let's try this one for once. No, actually, no, the other shape still works better than that. Where are you? Where are you? Where's the chiclet? Where's the magic chip? Let's come back to you from here. There we go. This might be a good time to do another layer. Kind of hard to tell the ridges there, but they're there. They're so there. barnacle boy. Let's do something about that arm. I've been promising it for ages. Let's do something about it. Don't know what it's going to be. Should it be more? You know what? Maybe to balance this out, it should be more outstretched. So let's make sure we're ready for that. Right? Go back to our lovely. Ooh, don't want it in that position. How do I? Hello. There we go. You know, working in VR actually encourages me to work much bigger than I would work in real life, which I find very interesting. Like, when I'm drawing, I'm usually working on this scale. But in here, I always want to go slightly bigger. And I don't even think I'm going even as large as some people do, especially when they're painting. That is the general rule of thumb. Let's flatten that. And I think it would be served to do one more coral. Yeah, I think so. Also build some kind of branching effects in there too. I think that would be nice. We'll replicate that too. Actually never used this before. Let's use the other side. Yeah. By the way, I do realize he's just peed himself, but you know what? We all pee ourselves once in a while, don't we? Okay, speak for yourself, Kevin. But right now I kind of like where this is. And I may just retire for now, or at least not bore you with any more of my ramblings. But maybe before I do that, let's do a little bit more coloring here, so we get this in a good space. How about that? Should be great to do this multicolor. So starting purple on the top, purplish on the top. I like that way that's sort of turning out. It's actually pretty fun already. Do that. Let's stay with that. Then we'll get to yellow as it goes around the edge. Right? So... Actually, this yellow. Keep it more unified. I am a messy colorist. It's like a layered cake, huh? Maybe we can replicate the way that on the other side, but reverse it. Yeah? So, yellow on the top, orange in the middle. It's like an aquatic Neapolitan dessert for you before we go. Let's do a little bit of smoothing out here. Oh, I really like how ridged it is. And then purple at the bottom. Yeah. The purple might be a little too purple. But, you know, having looked at some of these pictures here, I'm kind of doubting I'm that far off the mark. So, we'll do the shelf there. Edges of that. Edges of that. And that part. How you like them apples? Okay, the yellow is really not helping it not look like pee. I'm not even going to touch that right now. Neither should you. Okay, so for now, let's just say this is in a pretty good spot. I might add some little particles up on the top here. Let's just go with circles for that. I really need to work on my steady stroke for that. So if I do steady stroke, steady stroke taper speed. Let's see how I can control. I almost want it to be like drops. You know? Almost. That's enough for now. There we go. Okay, let us clear out these guys. Oh no, I'll leave you up so you can side by side. There we go. I do want the eyebrows to be a different color, don't I? That's just not doing it for me. Actually, that yellow is good. Let's paint that